Good evening, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Differentiating Your Eye Care Practice Through Localized Marketing. My name is Michelle Letman, and I am the content and media producer here at Surefire Local. I'm also joined by our webinar ninja, Steve Eslak, who's ready and excited to help answer your questions. Speaking of those questions, you can communicate with us using the question box in your webinar control panel, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can locate that right now and let us know where you're joining us from today. We'll be sending messages and discussion questions to the group throughout the webinar, so be sure to check that out later. We're excited to announce the launch of our brand new Surefire Local Marketing Cloud. What if I told you that you could accomplish these 7 items in the first 7 minutes on the Surefire Cloud? It makes it simple to control, manage, and optimize your digital marketing all with one secure login. To get perspective on how your marketing is working, business owners can get all their marketing data in one dashboard within the Surefire Cloud. Today, one lucky attendee is taking home a Google Home. We will be announcing the winner at the end. If you don't win one, though, you don't have to go home empty-handed. Everyone here today is eligible to get a Google Chromecast when they complete a digital marketing consult, but I will get more to that later. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Justin Bazan, founder of Park Slope Eye in Brooklyn, New York. He's extremely passionate about optometry, and it shows in his successful practice. For now, I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Bazan. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Steve, for joining us and helping out. And hello, everybody out there. It's my pleasure to share some of my experiences with Surefire Local. And I just wanted to mention that this all came about because I read a really well done online blog entry from the CMO of Surefire Local, Sashi. And this is going to highlight on a high level what he put out there on that post, and then we're really going to dig down into it about how I applied what he was talking about in my office, and then how it's working for me. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. And so I guess the title of tonight's presentation was Marketing Your Independent Practice and Making It Shine. One of the things that he highlighted was there's 3 types of patient profiles. And I want you guys to think about the differences between each of these groups and how we can actually market towards them and not only retain but attract more and more of these different types of patient profiles. So the first one, I think, is who we all want in our offices: independents. They're the independent loyalists. Those are the patients who come to us because they love what we do and they differentiate us from the chains or the big commercial big boxes. So they're the independent loyalists. They're the patients who are receiving their eye exams and purchasing their eyewear and contacts from us independents. Then you have the hybrid spenders. They're in our offices for exams, but they may or may not necessarily be spending their dollars in our offices. And I think that's a population that we need to work more with, so we can enhance their purchasing in our office. And then you have the chain loyalists, and no matter what we do or no matter what we marketed, they're just not interested. They're not into us. They're going to be the ones that are getting their eye care and eyewear from the retail chains. So those are the three types of patient profiles that we're dealing with. I definitely think we can focus more on the independent loyalists and fine-tune our marketing message towards them. And then hopefully we can convert some of those hybrid spenders into independent loyalists. All right, this is where the meat of that blog post gets interesting. Sashi, in his wisdom, had me just stop in my tracks and question what I was doing with my business and why I was actually in business for myself. And he wants us all to pause, and I hope you guys pause right now and actually take this and listen and give your own answer. But the key is to always remember why you started your business. And sometimes we get so bogged down in the day-to-day of just seeing patients or running the business that we lose touch about actually why the heck we started this business in the first place. And I can tell you that I was working in a large retail chain, and the frustrations of that led me to start my own business. And one of the things that I was frustrated with while I was working in that large retail chain is that I didn't feel a true connection to the patients. So I started a patient-centric blog very early on in my career in this retail chain, and it was met with pretty much a strong opposition. The reason being is, and I remember these words, the CEO of that large regional chain said to me, he's like, we want people to come in for our marketing, and we want them to come in for the deals that we're advertising. We don't want them to come in because they're building a relationship with you. So when I heard that, I knew I was in the wrong place. but I knew that my heart was in the right place. So I continued that thought of I need to make stronger and deeper connections with my patients, and one of them was a blog, and to this day we still continue on with our blog. And the website and the blog is a crucial piece of our marketing techniques, and it's a major marketing channel that we use. And Surefire Local has been responsible for, I guess, single-handedly reinvigorating our blog. So it's not just a blog that's helpful to patients, but it's a blog that's helpful to attracting and marketing to the patients that we want. So there's a difference between having a blog and actually having the blog help you. And I think that's what Surefire Local has helped me really understand the value and the power that's related to the keywords and the topics that they're writing about in this professionally well done blog. You can see an example of that a little bit later, but if you guys want to also pull up parkslopeeye.com, you can get an idea of what I'm talking about from the blog articles. It also gives you a chance to see what a well-designed website looks like. So parkslopeeye.com, you get a chance to see how Surefire Local has put together an amazing website. With the social media, that's definitely another marketing channel that everybody on this broadcast, if they're an independent, really needs to be leveraging well, because that's where you really can differentiate yourself big time. And like I said, we're going to do this high level first, but we're going to dig down deep into some examples of how we use social media at Park Slope Eye. Then email marketing, we send tons of emails to our patients, both in a formal, organized, I guess, newsletter every once in a while, but on a day-to-day, a lot of our exchanges are with our patients through email. In-office experience, we started our own businesses because we wanted to provide in-office experiences to our patients that are probably a lot different than what they get when they go to a chain, right? So I know that one of the primary reasons for me was to provide experiences to patients that I wanted to have if I was a patient, and I wanted to have that control and create those experiences for my patients. And then community involvement. I hate the word tactic when you use community involvement, but we, Park Slope Eye, live and work and play in our community, and we want to be a strong contributing member to our community. So it is one of the ways that we market is by being involved in our community. All right, we can go to the next slide. So here's some more specifics about how Sashi envisioned the website and the blog. It is a great place to have your storyboard brought to life. So it tells your story. It's going to allow you to get your story out there and have your story about how you're doing things work to help bring in patients to you. And Surefire Local is masterful at helping craft that so your story's out there. We find that it's creating a mix between educational and engaging content and writing about stuff we really care about, but it focuses on the ocular health to help our patients, such as sharing seasonal tips for caring for your eyes. Then it allows us to have patients make an appointment. Bottom line is we want butts in our exam chairs, and having the ability to schedule an online appointment and have patients contact us easily, extremely important, and that website needs to do that. And you can see at parkslopeeye.com a great example of how it's front and center for patients to make an appointment. Then his last point he made is that we need to call out the eye care offerings that aren't available at big chains. So what are the services that you're providing that differentiate yourself from these big box chain stores? If you're an independent, I think that it's routine exams and glasses and contacts aren't going to cut it. You need to start adding additional services that are not offered at some of these big chains. So we'll talk specifically a little bit more about my office, but just briefly, we have vision therapy, we do scleral lenses, we have a myopia control center offering a few different myopia control options, but these are things that the big chains aren't doing. Social media, these are some examples of the photos that we've used to create social media posts, and you can see that my photos will probably look a lot different than another practice, and certainly a lot different than what you see coming out of a chain's Facebook page. These are very personal. These are people that are in our office and are in our community. These are real faces. So differentiate yourself with photos. You're going to set up a practice of being consistent and delivering content on a regular basis. In my office, we're actually posting every day, at least once a day, sometimes multiple times, but it's not as big an effort as you think. We have one post that's done pretty much first thing after the gates put up, the lights are turned on, somebody is creating a social media posts. And then throughout the day, we actually have some automated content up there. And then when I feel inspired or another doctor, or even the staff feels inspired, they'll put up a post too. And then we're sharing the blog post that Surefire Local helps create for us on our social media, for example, our Facebook page. So Surefire Local has professional writers who take quality content, make it keyword rich, so it's coming up in search results for what people are looking for, certain specific terms, and it provides you with great SEO and the benefits of SEO because you're working with a professional. So email, we know it's a great way to build patient loyalty because it's allowing more touch points and it gets you on their minds. An example of that is sharing some tips on saving money or new treatment offers. You guys are probably able to add new services, and a great way to get the word out about that new services is email blast. You can do a digest of your latest blog post, a little summary, and then also if you have new doctor announcements, that's great to broadcast through email. So the in-office experience, if you go through your office from the perspective of a new patient, what kind of in-office experiences are you creating? Are you just mimicking the same experience that patient's had regardless of where they went, whether it was another independent or if it was a retail chain? Or are you creating unique patient experiences that people are going to want to come back and see you for because you provided it in a memorable way? So it's probably the best way for an independent eye care practitioner to thrive is by providing unique in-office experiences. And you have total control over the whole experience. Remember, you're the boss. You're the one that has the vision. So it's your vision coming to life and really wowing those patients. He mentioned that you should set up systems to have your office staff mention to patients where they can write reviews, because we know that patients need a little bit of prompting to write those reviews, or just a reminder of where they can write those reviews, or specifically if you have a platform that is lacking in reviews, maybe you can direct them towards that platform to help get that platform strengthened up. So community involvement, if you guys are truly independents, you have a wonderful opportunity to be involved in your community. So let your patients know that you're part of the community. We probably all support our community in a lot of different ways. So you just need to broadcast those. And you have tremendous broadcasting capabilities because you have a website, you have a blog, you have your email newsletters, and you definitely have social media. So that's broadcasting what you're doing out there into the community. Then if you want to bring the community in, you're going to host an open house and have customer events where you're bringing the community back into your office. And of course, you want to rebroadcast those events back out on your blog, website, email, and social media. Okay, and then we need to find where these local groups actually are. So you can look for local community directories such as the County Chamber of Commerce, the small local online and offline newspapers. There's a whole wide variety of sources where you can find these groups, so you can actively get engaged and actually market that content to them. Okay, so that's the first portion. That was a high-level look at what Sashi had posted up online, and I just, those things resonated so well with me, and it made me really feel comfortable working with Surefire Local, because those were the exact same things that I wanted to do. And I think most of us are doing those things, but you have to be honest with yourself and say, how good am I at doing those things? And that's where Surefire Local kind of just grabs you by the hand and says, this is good, but here's how we're really going to do it. And I think Michelle's going to check in with us right now.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Bazan. So quickly, we're going to do a little poll and ask if you would like to do or get a free guide to our online marketing ebook. If you want to compete in the market today, you need to have a website. A properly managed website can cost effectively take your practice from unknown to a locally or nationally known name with many more leads and conversions, and faster than you might think. Using this guide will give you a good start on highly effective digital marketing campaigns. So say yes to a guide to online marketing ebook, and then we will get back to Dr. Bazan. Dr. Bazan, back to you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. All right, so now we're going to take a look at 6 ways that I differentiated my practice as an independent. So, way number 1. This follows me around everywhere I go. My office is not a bar. However, we do wow our patients by providing them with great hospitality. So, when I say serve your patients beer, it doesn't have to be beer in particular. It's just creating a wow moment. So when a patient comes into my office, they're greeted, the front desk person introduces themselves, we make them comfortable, we'll hang a coat, we'll put their bag off to the side, and then we say, today we have a selection of coffee, teas, juice, water, and beer. What can we get you? How can we help you? And when patients hear that word beer, the first thing out of their mouth is wow, right? So we're creating that wow. If it wasn't beer, they're still pretty wowed that we're actually taking the time to offer them a beverage. Now that came about because this was probably, I don't know, 2007. I was running late to a dentist appointment, and I was literally running. When I say running late, I was running, because I hate being late. So when I got there, I was really out of breath, and I just wanted a glass of water, which I thought would be pretty common to find in a waiting area. And when I got to that dentist's office, there was nothing, and they just basically directed me and said, there's a bodega on the corner. You can go grab a drink and come back. Which was horrible hospitality. And I said, you know what, when I get my office up and running, we're gonna not only just have a water cooler, but we're gonna have a whole selection of beverages to choose from. And then the way we present it, it's not just like, over there's the drinks, go help yourself. We actually serve the patients. So we're usually providing it in a Park Slope By mug or beverage container, and getting them the beverage of their choice. And then after they finish their beverage, oftentimes they're like, well, where do you put this? You know, where do I put this mug? They just give it back to you. And that gives us another opportunity to wow them, because we say, you know what? You keep that coffee mug. And people have another opportunity to say, wow. So it's doing things like that in your office, you know, just simple little things where you can focus on hospitality and finding what your patients are wowed by, and then doing more of it. So a simple way was to focus on that hospitality. And it's those moments. If you hear patients saying wow, you're building loyalty. You're doing something that they didn't expect, and you're exceeding their expectations. You know, we talk about customer satisfaction. It's not the satisfied customers that are going to be the ones that are loyal to you. Satisfied is probably good enough for the moment, but if you're exceeding expectations, those are the ones that are going to be the most loyal to you. So look for ways to wow them, and that wow is going to translate not only into increased loyalty, but that wow is going to translate into word of mouth. So, you know, conversations will happen amongst their friends and family and coworkers, but hopefully it'll also get translated into digital word of mouth, and they'll be, you know, having reviews that describe the experience they had. And I'm a huge fan of reviews, whether it's a 1-star or 5-star. It really doesn't matter much to me, as long as it's an honest, you know, encounter, an experience that the patient had in our office, because that's what's helping us attract the patients that we want. So wowing patients, having the ability for them to get their experience out there in the form of a review is a tremendous practice builder. You know, people like to do businesses what they like. All right, so next slide, serve your community. Right here we see my associate doctor in a classroom going over what vision therapy is to a group of teachers at PS 118. So how are you serving your community? Are you out there getting involved? Are you doing things like this? When's the last time one of your doctors or yourself was actually out in the community, helping the community? These teachers were so thankful that she stopped by. It was just a brief presentation. I don't think it was much more than 15-20 minutes, but it really was an eye-opening lesson on exactly what is going on with learning-related vision problems or vision-related learning issues. And it was just a wonderful way and one example of how you can reach out to the community, and those teachers become great referral sources. You know, not only are they coming in for their exams, but they are now primed to look out and encourage parents to have the kids come in for full comprehensive eye exams too. So you have the ability to do that. I don't know one single chain that would ever send their doctor into the community. It's just not happening. So as an independent, send yourself, your docs, your staff into the community and look for events like this. And it's not hard. We all have teachers as patients. So all you simply say is, would you guys be interested in if I came by for a little lunch and learn? And the response that you're going to get is probably going to be similar to our response. They're so thankful for you to take your time and come by and actually help them out like that. All right. Be there. So, are you providing services that people need? Are you servicing your community with services that people are seeking? So if somebody's seeking that service and it's not being offered by you, they're going to go out and acquire it where it's happening. So you need to be a choice there. And I can tell you right now that there's a lot of people out there looking for vision therapy, looking for myopia control, looking for specialty contact lens, especially sclerals. It's a hot topic in eye care right now for several reasons. One of them is that there's not enough people doing it. So get out there and get out and be a leader in your community and get known for that. So one of the best things to do is to pick services that these big boxes will never touch. You're not going to see a chain doing vision therapy. You may or may not see chains working with anything with myopia control, certainly not the more complicated stuff such as orthokeratology. And then they're not going to be involved in specialty contact lenses. So as an independent, you guys have a tremendous opportunity to start to add some of those services. Now, you may think that all those services are not for you because you don't like doing them, or you don't have the knowledge, or you don't have the desire or passion for it. Hire somebody who does. There's tons of kids coming out of school who have these skill sets or have this passion. Bring in an associate and allow them to develop those centers in your office. Okay, so that's going to be a huge way that you're going to have the ability to separate yourself from the rest of the eye care providers, independents and commercial. So I definitely think that offering services that people are in need of is a way to go. So this is an example of our Facebook event calendar. So we stay busy. We try to do events on a regular basis. These are all the ones that we formally created events for. You can see the last one was National Sunglasses Day. That was an event that it's both an on and offline event. It happens every year on June 27th, and it raises awareness of the importance of protecting our eyes from the sun. And that was a fun event. I think there's some pictures coming up showing how fun that event was in the office. We brought in some pastries, some cupcakes, we had balloons, we had a giveaway. Everybody was wearing sunglasses that day. It was a fun event, both on and offline. So look for opportunities to host these fun events in your office space. A lot of times the independents have the ways and means and resources to do these things, but they don't do it with enough frequency. They may have a trunk show every once in a while. Well, if that trunk show was fun and it was successful, well, what's holding you back from doing it instead of once a year? Maybe try a once a quarter. Or if trunk shows once a quarter aren't your thing, can you think of other events to have? And you can see some of the things that we did in the past. Get personal. I definitely think that allowing people to see more about you, what you're really about, is a way for people to connect with you. Once they get to know you online, and I know it's silly to say get to know you online, but online connections translate into real world connections. So people will come in familiar with you and your staff and your office, and most importantly, the experience of your office, and you'll already have an established connection with them to build upon. So they're self-selecting you based on what they're seeing in the videos or what they're reading about on the blog articles you're putting up, and they want you to interact with you in person. So you got them, you created a strong presence online, and now that they want to convert that into a real world experience. So give them glimpses into the people who are working there and in the office, and you can feature both the employees and the doctors, and let the staff just be themselves. Nobody wants to go to a generic robot doctor. They want unique personalities, and they want to be able to click with that unique personality. And the way to do that is just be genuine and get yourself out there more. And get in front of the camera. And you can see there's if you go to our Facebook page, we put up a couple videos, or our website, parkslopeye.com, you can see examples of some really good videos that highlight our staff and our docs' personalities and what we're all about. So keep it real. And what I mean by that is make sure that your marketing face represents your real personality. If there's a mismatch between how you market yourself online and then the actual experience that a patient has in the office, that's going to work against you. You want to be as authentic online as you really are in the office. So, just be yourself. I guess the best advice that I have is just be yourself, and that's what keeping it real really is just being yourself. Sometimes people get caught up in creating an overly, sterile and so professional portrayal of their office that when they get there, it's a different feel and a different vibe. And I know that large retail chains often they're at a disadvantage because they can't portray individual personalities because they have to keep it very generic because they're broadcasting one marketing message for all of their locations. If you're an independent, you have one maybe or a few, you can really let the personalities of each of those offices come through online, and by being authentic, it's going to match up nicely when the people come to the office and they say, oh, this is exactly how I thought it was going to be, and everybody's happy when that happens. All right, so we highlighted 6 different things, and to sum it up, serve your patients beer. Now, obviously, my office beer is a component of it, but it doesn't have to be. The point is make sure you're doing things to wow your patients, and you can put hospitality at the forefront of that. Next, get involved with your community. Show your community some love, and it will show you love back. Then we need to be there and be easy to find online. Have Surefire Local help create content for you that's rich in keywords of the services that you provide, and most importantly, provide those services that are going to differentiate you from the competition, such as the vision therapy, myopia control, specialty contact lenses. Then you need to be both social on and offline. So having those in-office events and then broadcasting what you're doing online is going to be great. And then make sure you're getting personal, allowing people to see your true personality come through, and then keep it real by always being authentic with your marketing messages. So in summary, don't compete, differentiate. And I think we highlighted both on some high level and then some specifics how my office does that exactly. So we're not trying to compete, we're trying to be different, and we highlighted 6 different points on how you can differentiate too. So I think as in true independent, and you guys who are on the line here tonight are independents, I think we all have that in common, and hopefully the ways that I shared Park Slope Eye does things will resonate with you. And if you're not already doing it, hopefully inspire you to do some of those things. And Surefire Local has been a great partner and help for us to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Bazan. That was a really awesome presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone else did too.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So we're going to take a quick pause here for another poll. As mentioned earlier, we're offering a complimentary digital marketing consultation for all attendees today and a free Google Chromecast for all who qualify. During a consult, we will sit down with you and review your entire website and current marketing program. The marketing consult is a great one-on-one session with an expert to give you recommendations about your digital marketing. When you attend your consultation, we will help you identify opportunities across your online presence and make recommendations. So please take a moment here to say yes to a digital consult, and don't forget to ask for a demo of the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud during the consultation. So actually, while everyone is answering the poll, we could get a head start on the Q&A. We do have a few questions here. So the first one is, if I take pictures of patients at an event or in office, do you need permission to post? And if so, how is it best handled?
So that's a great question, and I guess the easy answer for me is we never take pictures of people who don't give us permission to take pictures. So if you see all the pictures that we have, it's people who are either posing or aware that we're taking pictures of them. So that we don't have them sign anything. We let them know that we ask them, we basically say, hey, can you mind if we take a picture? We're going to put this on Facebook. We'd love to put this on Facebook. And people are super happy and often want to help. And then on occasion, someone will be like, yeah, no, not really. I don't want my kid's picture on Facebook. And you just respect that. So I just think, I mean, you don't have to, it doesn't have to, you have to overthink it. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Let them know you're taking a picture. If they're cool with it, then go for it. If they're not, then don't do it.
Great. Okay. So I think Steve's about to close up the poll in a few seconds, and then we will move on to the other questions that we have. All right. On to the next question. So here's another one. What's worked best in getting people to not only know about the event, but to actually attend?
So that's a fantastic question. I mean, I think getting the word out is something that we've all gotten better at, but actually getting people to attend is the next big hurdle. We've found that different days and different times work better. So I think experimenting with the days and times is important too. We know our Saturday events are better attended than something we do during the week. And we know that our weekday events, if it's on a Monday, forget it. Nobody's coming, even if we're giving away, iPhones. So I think finding what your target audience prefers for event times is important. And the only way you can do that is by actually experimenting and varying the event times. So that goes back to the whole point that I made earlier, is that you're not doing enough events. So if you're doing one event a year, then obviously it's going to be hard to fine tune that. But if you're doing an event a quarter, then you may find better success because you're able to try more things. But as a general rule of thumb, I know what works in our office. I don't know if it's across the boards. That's something that maybe Surefire Local would be able to help give you some more insights. but I know for us that different times of events have worked better than others. The other thing is there's often times there needs to be a hook too. Just like you guys have the hook tonight of winning that, Google Home, there should be some kind of an incentive for people to come in. I know that you guys do trunk shows. We also have a raffle. Our sunglasses day, we had a giveaway. It was a photo giveaway. They had to take a sunglass selfie and put that in a reply somewhere. That works well. Other times, we just have a party and people know that it's going to be a good time. And often at that party, we have deep discounts on eyewear. So there has to be a little bit more incentive. And I think finding the right incentives also goes back to experimenting and being creative and trying different things out. And, doing more events so you get that experience is going to be helpful.
Great. All right. Next question is, how often should you send out emails to patients?
So if we can, I guess, refine that question is can you find opportunities to email patients? I think having an email connection has strengthened our relationships with our patients, and it allows us to be very responsive to our patients. We ditched phone communications probably, 2013, so 4 or 5 years ago. We ditched phone communications and we went all to email as our preferred mode of communication for several reasons. One, it's very respectful of time, both the patient's and your time, and two, is it actually gives a patient a reference of what was actually discussed or said that they can go back to and revisit. So all the conversations that you have that patients are like, well, that's not what you said on the phone, are avoided. And it allows you to craft a little bit better answers. So when you're dealing with somebody, instead of just trying to come up with something on the spot, you can actually think a little bit about it and then reply appropriately. So we're in favor of finding ways to email our patient, and we look for ways to email our patient as frequently as needed. That question may have been intended to say, well, how often do you send a newsletter? If that was the intent, then the newsletter, again, you need to fine tune it. So if you want to start it out doing it monthly, and then all of a sudden you see people unsubscribing, or if you see that it's a low open rate, you may want to save it up and do it quarterly. So I think, again, this whole thing comes down to fine-tuning what's working best, but you have to be doing something to know how to fine-tune it. So just getting out there and trying it, go for it once a month and then fine-tune it from there.
All right. And then we have our last question is it better to use real photos, or do stock photos work well too, like for emails or your website, etc.?
Yeah, Steve, if you can actually pull up that little photo montage, I want to go back and take a look at some of those photos. I actually thought it was going to come up later in the slide deck, but we went past it, and I want to keep going. Right here. All right, so that top left one and the two after that, those are some pretty professional looking photos, and they're not real patients. Those guys are totally, I bought that for $1 and I had unlimited use for marketing purposes. The site that I use for finding high quality photos like that and then adding text to the bottom is called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, and they have high quality stock images for very low purchase price that has, it's a graphic design, cloud-based graphic design program that you go do online, and it's really easy just to add a little blurb of text at the bottom of those pictures. But I like to use a mix. So you can see that we have, let's see, that second up from the bottom. That's a nice way that you can see that there's real people, real patients mixed in with those high quality professional stock photos. So I think it's a mix. You have to show people in your office, real people having real interactions, having real fun. But then I also think to have some high quality marketing content that's piped out on a regular basis is important. All of those posts with those high quality photos with the blurbs of text at the bottom, that's marketing a specific service, and I have those on autopilot. So basically I use another service called Post Planner to generate those posts automatically at regularly scheduled intervals, and that content's always being published. It's on, I set it and forget it. I don't even have to think about it.
All right, well, those are our questions for tonight. Thank you for answering them. Those are all really great answers. I'm sure that will be very helpful for everyone on the call. Now we're going to go on to the Google Home winner, and tonight's winner is Amelia Hallbrook.
Yay!
Congrats, Amelia.
Congratulations, Amelia.
please email marketing@surefirelocal.com with your full mailing address, and we will ship that right out to you. Huge thanks again to Dr. Justin Bazan for joining us tonight, and thank you to all of our attendees. Please be sure to join us for more upcoming webinars. For more details on that, we have you can check out surefirelocal.com. We have a link at the top of our homepage for our webinars. If you happen to be napping during our poll, I'll mention one last time, we are offering a Google Chromecast for all who are qualified for complimentary digital consultation with us. So please email marketing@surefirelocal.com if you are interested. And please take a minute to fill out the survey at the end and let us know how we did today and what topics you would like to hear about in the future. Thanks again and have a great night.